Gabe, Katie, another solid offensive night for you guys. Just the big thing kind of for you guys, the narrative has been about ball movement. What did you guys kind of think about that tonight, how it translated on the road for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we've been doing pretty well all year, and we just had a couple little slumps maybe in that area. But I think, yeah, you've seen the last couple of games us really pick that up and just take what the defense has given us and just not try to make like the big plays, just take what they give us, and yeah, did that tonight.
Couple times tonight, in the first half, you guys build up to a 9-point lead, you get down to 4 at halftime, you get up to 14 and cut back into it. What did you think about the response from your team to be able to, especially in the road environment, be able to kind of weather that?
I think overall, like, we finished the game strong, or finished both halves strong. But I think we still, like, that's something we can learn from. Like, we can't let them continuously come back because there'll be teams, they're a very good team, but there'll be times where it's hard to stop a team from coming back with that momentum like that.
Katie, especially for you, you've seen your minutes increase, in recent games. And, I mean, tonight you're in there playing a lot of minutes there in the second half in some key moments. And you had a couple of big plays there in that final minute. I mean, just from a confidence standpoint, what's that kind of mean to you right now to be able to see that trust that the coaching staff has?
Yeah, it means a lot. Just got to keep building from it, keep going. Like, I can't be satisfied because, we won one game and I played good minutes this game. Like, as a team, we got to keep going and just keep stacking good days.
You see, when big down the stretch, you guys are still able to get to the rim quite a bit those last 4 or 5 minutes. What were you doing to kind of get some open lanes to?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we just kind of took what they gave us. They wanted to, hard hedge the ball screens, and we got guys who can just make really good decisions out of that. And so we welcome that when teams want to do that, and I think we just do a really good job of picking it apart and sharing the ball.
On the other side, you guys held TCU under 38% shooting from the floor tonight. What made you guys so effective defensively on the evening?
I mean, our coach has got us in a good scout, and we trust them with all that. And then just going out and executing what they tell us, and changing it up a little bit on them, giving them different looks, keeping them off attack, and.
Lawson had another, I don't know if you'd call it kind of quietly effective night where he just does things on both ends of the court. I mean, what does he do for this team with just kind of setting that physical tone inside for you guys?
Really everything. Like, he literally does everything. Such an easy person to play with, both offensively and defensively. Yep. He's super versatile and just brings so much to the table that I don't think a lot of 7-footers can do.
And next game for you guys is the Rival. Just kind of what are your thoughts on BYU, both, kind of what they bring and being able to have it at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously always an exciting game. I think when you play those type of rivalry games, everything just goes out the window. So it's like just who wants it the most and who's going to come in ready to compete. And, I mean, it's pretty hard not to come ready to compete in those games. A lot of energy. It's really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's a really good win for us. I have so much respect for Jamie Dixon, and he's a great coach, and they eliminate losing. They make it really, really hard on teams to score. Like, you got to beat them to beat them. And obviously they've been electric at home. I mean, they've been undefeated. And so that's a heck of a road win for us. You got to earn everything with them. I mean, coming into tonight's game, I think they were 27th in the country in defensive field goal percentage, or effective defensive field goal percentage. Is really hard to get threes or clean threes, and they really speed you up and they get you rushed. And then they have elite, they have really good rim protection. So, I thought we took care of the ball for the most part. We had a couple instances there. They do a good job of just making the game chaotic, and you got to be tough with the ball and make quick decisions. And for most of the night, I thought we did that. There were some really long possessions in that game, and we knew there would be. We told our guys, because they're so good defensively, there's just going to be long possessions. It's going to be hard to get easy ones early. We got to really value that thing and take good shots. And I thought we executed very well, especially, down the stretch. And, it's always tough to win on the road. It helps when you can play from in front, and we played from in front all night. I think there was one tie in the game. Of course, you knew they were going to make some runs, but we were able to answer the bell and then just do a good enough job on the defensive end. The Reynolds kid, man, he's a good player. I mean, there's a reason he's leading the Big 12 in scoring, the first 4 games, right? It's a smaller sample size, but he can do a lot of things on the floor. And then they have a lot of weapons out there that put a lot of pressure on you with their ability to shoot the three. And I thought we did a pretty good job neutralizing that. So proud of our guys. Great win. We got a short recovery here as we head into our next game.
Coach, it's the second time you hold the team under 40% shooting. Just overall, what did you think of the defensive excellence?
Thought we really defended well. At halftime we ended up winning both halves, which is always a good formula. But at halftime we were only up 4. I felt like probably should have been up by a little bit more. Like when you look at the shooting numbers, we shoot 44%, they shoot 33%. But they had 5 more shot attempts, I believe it was, at halftime. I think they had 30, we had 25. So that was a bit concerning. And they've done a good job winning close games. They've beaten a couple teams here at home recently in tight games, and so but defense travels. Right, and a lot of coaches say that, but you got to live by that. I thought we've made great strides here in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, on that end of the floor in particular. And so I thought we followed our game plan and guarded their personnel. We had to mix it up a little bit just to try to keep them off balance. We just made enough plays on that end.
What about offensively? I mean, you talked about how tough it is to score on TCU, but you're coming off that game. That was the best offensive game you've seen all year. How did that translate on the road today?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing really connected, which we've done all year. I mean, I don't know, depending on what metric you're looking at, we're 1 or 2 in the country in assists. Tonight we have 18 assists, which is actually maybe a little bit of a low number for us. And that's a credit to TCU. But we shot 49% from the field, and we were able to get to the foul line. And so it's nice when you're able to do that. And I just think the biggest thing on offense, we were just able to make enough plays late in the clock. Because they to whether it's an open 3 or and we didn't hit many of those. Gabe struggled a little bit shooting tonight, and he had some really clean ones. Mike, I thought, made a couple big ones, but just our interior passing with Lovering. I thought Jake Wallin and KD are those 2 guys are sophomores and really good players. And KD goes 7 for 10. Obviously the dunks were really, really nice, but his ability to finish around the basket and then Jake just he's kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. Career high with 11 rebounds at 8 points, but just really poised and composed out there, and we were able to make enough plays.
What did you think about his ability to kind of take a couple big, not even runs, but you get it up to 9 or 10, like you said, they cut it to 4 at halftime. You get up to 14, they're cutting it down. Just the response you saw.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have poise and composure when you're on the road. You have to have a tough mentality. When they did make those runs, we were able to answer the bell. I mean, Jake made a huge 3 right in front of our bench during one of those runs, and I think they had cut it to 7, maybe 6, and now it's back to 10, and that just gives you confidence. And yeah, you just got to be able to answer the bell and stay with it. But poise and confidence. Our guys had a great look. Our huddles were really, really good all night, and you could feel it. Like you could just feel it within our guys. And so they've had a good look to them. We've had really good, like I said, 10 days, and we're learning how to make some plays, and we just need to continue to grow and develop and get better and better every night out.
Coach, you mentioned Noah Reynolds in your opening statement.
Yeah.
Obviously helped him to 12 points. What was the defensive game to slow him down?
If you watch that Arizona, I mean, I've watched obviously a lot of their games from start to finish, and I mean, those 2 guys, Reynolds and Alette, they just put a lot of pressure on you. They're different players, but they have the versatility to play, both at the point, both off the ball. they can kind of throw different looks at you that way. And then with certain guys out there, when you watch a lot of games, they've had different guys step up on a night-to-night basis. So whether it's their third leading scorer in Trezarian White, or the BYU game, Wenzel I think made 3 or 4 threes in the first half, I forget, or they lose it. So those guys put a lot of pressure on you. And of course, early in the game, Wenzel nails a 23-footer. I mean, it might have been deeper than that. I had a bad angle, but like, you can't just let him rise up and shoot over it. I mean, that thing is pure. And same with White, where we think we got him guarded, but we don't. He just rises up and shoots. So there's just a lot that goes with that. But with Reynolds, just like any really good scorer, I just think you got to really change up your looks with them. Whether it's schematically, throw different defenders on them, because everybody's a little different with their length, their size, their physicality. We mixed up defenses a little bit. But then Alette got going. There was, I thought, 2 different stretches, and quite frankly, it was probably when they made their runs, where Alette was, and he'll take some tough ones, but he makes a lot of tough ones. We showed our guys a ton of clips of him, some of the shots he makes, and you can't hang your head. Like, it's just like, you can't be shocked when he throws one, and it is what it is. You tip your hat to him, like, that's a heck of a shot, and can you do that for 40 minutes? Because and so he got going for a while, and then, late, I thought we did a better job to make the shots a little bit more difficult, if that makes sense. But those guys put a lot of pressure on you. But that's this league. Like, we're new to the Big 12, right? And the Pac-12 has very good has had good basketball, but like, what we're seeing is the depth of this league. I mean, the depth of this league is crazy, and the guard play. I mean, my gosh, the guards that can just make you feel like you can guard these guys perfectly, and they just rise up and make plays. So, and certainly, TCU's got the backcourt that does that as well.
You dropped the first 3 conference games. You've got 2 now in a row in the win column. How can you use these 2 wins to kind of vault yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we've changed some things up with some of it stylistically, some of it personnel-wise. So we're learning and growing as a team. We got to be able to guard. That's what travels. We were not good. Those first 3 games, we were atrocious on the defensive end. I mean, we were not good. And I feel like it's a few different things. Listen, you start on the road at Baylor. Your second game's to Texas Tech. And your third game's at Iowa State. So, like, we told our guys, in this league, you can play really good basketball in those 3 games and be 0-3. Now, we didn't play really good basketball, but certainly I don't think we played as bad as maybe the final scores show. The games are closer than the final scores, except with the exception of one. And so you got to stay tough. You got to stay tough-minded. And then the other thing I'd say is, like, we have 10 new guys. Like, we have 10 new guys in our program. And I know a lot of teams have a lot of new guys. But with this being our first year in the league and we were picked last, there's an adjustment that goes into how the game is officiated, the types of guys you're going against. And you can talk about that as a coach, but I think guys have to feel that and go through that and what it takes to be competitive and find ways to win. So, just got to play good basketball and find ways to win at the end of the game, because there's going to be a lot of close games in this league.
Any other questions for Coach?
Great, you've got
Jeez, Brandon, you're just dominating this conversation.
you've got BYU up next.
Yeah.
Kind of what are your thoughts on what you've seen out of BYU? The fact that it's this first one in Huntsman.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team, right? They're 2-3 and coming off a win against Oklahoma State, and they got a lot of firepower. They got a lot of punch in that lineup over there. They got a lot of size. A lot of guys can do a lot of different things, and so, obviously, I've been able to kind of work ahead a little bit the best that you can. We've played some common opponents as well, but it's a great game for the state of Utah. It's a great game for our fan base. It's a great game for their fan base. I think you throw all the records out the window. Hopefully, the Huntsman Center is packed. I know our guys, will enjoy this one until we fly back tonight, and we'll be on our preparation for a very good BYU team tomorrow.